degrees cephalic, centered where? 2 inches above the symphysis pubis. That's the answer you want to know for your book. Right here. Again, so it's going to put you in the same spot if you go about 2 inches below the ASIS, but what you need to know for the book, 2 inches above the pubic symphysis. Okay. So, let's see. Let's say that you did that view, and you were centered 2 inches above the pubic symphysis, like you should be. You centered 15 degrees cotad, and your foramina are not open. What did you do wrong? Very good, good catch. Yes. 15 degrees cephalic is the answer. If you angle 15 degrees cotad, your foramina would close. You would not be able to see the sacral foramina. So if you have the correct angulation over 15 degrees cephalic, you should see the sacral foramina nice and open. All right, coccyx. What about that? Centering where? Angulation where?
So 2 inches above the pubic symphysis, 10 degrees cotad.
Okay, centering the same, 2 inches above the pubic symphysis, but now you're not going to angle cephalic where the coccyx starts to curve anteriorly. So now we're angling 10 degrees cotad. Okay. Let's say that you did this. We don't know the angulation yet. But let's say you did this view, and the coccyx was superposed over this pubic symphysis.
You did.
What can you do to correct that?
Oblique it a little more.
Increase.
Too much.
You're not going to oblique on this one.
Increase
It's too
angulation.
much.
If you're doing anterior posterior, so the coccyx is right on the board, which is above there, the pubic symphysis down here.
Make sure your
You need
angulation.
more.
Oh, you
You
are.
need more angulation,
Yeah.
exactly. Because if you angle more, imagine this is on your image receptor, this is on the frontal part there. If you angle more, it's going to shift the pubic symphysis down, but the coccyx is going to stay the same. So if the coccyx and pubic symphysis are superposed, you didn't have enough angulation on there. To correct that, you would angle more. And if you guys struggle with that, just take a look at this when you go to break or whatever, and you'll kind of you should see that the coccyx is back there, pubic symphysis is up here. If you angle more, it's going to bring that down. That should stay the same.
That was kind of like when I did the 15 degrees in that first shot, my coccyx was way off the side.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Okay. And then, what do you want your patient to do? And I know this is in the book, we found it someplace. What do you want your patient to do before you take images of the coccyx?
Go pee.
Empty the bladder. All right, lateral sacrum coccyx. If you're wanting to do a lateral sacrum coccyx together on one image, what's your central angulation and where do you center?
ASIS.
90 degrees.
All right, let's start with the angulation. What's that?
0 degrees.
That is perpendicular. Now, let's tell me where you're centered if you want to do them both on one.
It's 2 to 3 inches posterior to ASIS.
It's 3 to 4 inches posterior from the ASIS. So from your ASIS, go 3 to 4 inches posterior from there. That's where you're going to want to center for the sacrum and the coccyx. Now, let's say you want to do just the lateral coccyx. How would that change? From what we just talked about. If all we want is the coccyx. Bring it down.
About an inch.
You're going to bring it down a little bit, about 2 inches below the ASIS. You're still 3 to 4 inches posterior, but you're about 2 inches below the ASIS. Should also be 2 inches above the pubic symphysis. But the book does describe it as, quote, 3 to 4 inches posterior and 2 inches distal to the ASIS.
Didn't we just say 2 inches posterior? The ASIS
3 to
stuff?
4 inches posterior and 2 inches distal.
What if you wanted them together though? Is it 2 inches or 3 to 4 inches?
Oh, just, if you want to do sacrum and coccyx, it's just 3 to 4 inches posterior.
3 to 4
That's it,
inches.
3 to 4 inches posterior from the ASIS.
Lateral is 3 to 4 inches posterior?
Lateral sacrum coccyx. Alright, what else did we position for this week? Oh, this was another one that you guys, this is one that you guys kind of struggled with in the lab, so let's go over this. Your oblique SI joints. LPO oblique SI joints. So, LPO is like this. Which joint's that gonna be for?
Right side.
It's for the right side, exactly. And if you stand, if you would look at them like this, LPO, you can see that you can see right through that joint space there. That's what we're looking at. So, we're LPO for the SI joints. We're looking at the right joint space. Where's our central ray gonna be, and are we angled? No angle. Central ray is gonna be
ASIS?
3 inches of the
Between the ASIS and the top of the iliac.
It's 1 inch medial to the upside ASIS. So upside ASIS, 1 inch medial, and if you look, you think about where that's gonna lead you, it's gonna be right on top of that SI joint there. 1 inch medial from that ASIS. So that'll help you if you envision the skeleton, that'll help you kind of remember which side we're looking at. Well, if I'm in LPO and I'm 1 inch medial from upside ASIS, probably not looking at this joint space, right? It's probably looking at this one. Anyway. Okay. Let's talk about a couple things we really didn't talk much about this week. I probably won't have a whole lot of questions, just so you know, maybe a couple.